Welcome to another edition of The Butcher versus the Dance Instructor, presented by LB's Meat Market. I'm Neil McCready. Greg Jones of LB's Meat Market with us today. Caroline McCready back as well for another week of picks, almost exclusively in the SEC. Got a couple of non-SEC games. For the most part, we're heavy SEC as it's the first full week of SEC action, of everybody playing SEC games, I guess. Maybe the second week. First feels like the first full week. Anyway, we'll get to all that momentarily. First, I want to tell you that we're also presented by Twisted Tea. I'll tell you about Twisted Tea a little bit later in the show. But first, I want to tell you about LB's. It's 2008 University Avenue in Oxford, right across the street from Kroger. Let Kroger be your landmark, and then head over to LB's. If you're coming in this weekend, and I know lots of you are coming in for the LSU Ole Miss game, 5 o'clock on Saturday. It means it's going to be a full day in the Grove. A lot of time on Friday night. If you want to grill, you can do the late night grilling. You got Sunday, you got a big weekend. You want LB's to be a part of it. It's the freshest cuts in all of North Mississippi. It's the place to go for beef, pork, chicken, fresh seafood. Greg's been grinding away literally and figuratively on sausage. We'll talk about that in a minute. Lots of sausages being made. House-made sausage. They're fantastic. House-made jalapeno, stuffed jalapenos, stuffed mushrooms, and so much more. I'm probably leaving things out, including lunch, by the way, Thursdays, Fridays. If you're in town and you want to go grab lunch, not fight the crowd on the square just yet, stop at LB's. You'll be thrilled that you did. It's fantastic. They'll take great care of you, as they always have. Been a great partner of ours at MPW for a long time now. And if you haven't made LB's part of one of your weekends in Oxford, do it one time. You'll become a regular. And if you live around here, there's no excuse not to go to LB's. It's the freshest cuts, total difference. Try the product. You'll absolutely love it. Ladies, gentlemen, how are y'all?
Good.
Unfortunately, I'm not at Keeneland this weekend. I'm in the lovely confines of the LB's office with Enable and the old beer cans up there. So
yeah, this would probably not be the weekend to leave, Greg. I'm anticipating I'm anticipating quite a zoo here in our little abode for the next.
Yeah, we were talking about that. How many LSU fans are going to be in town? I think it's going to be over 20. I mean, like they usually, if they don't go to the game, they usually go to the library and hang out on the square. So any excuse for an LSU fan to come to Oxford, they usually come.
Yeah, I think this is a cool rivalry. I always have thought it was a cool rivalry, and yeah, they'll bring lots of them here. They'll do the Grove thing. They'll go to the square. They get pretty rowdy. 5 o'clock's a kick time that allows a lot of rowdiness. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the people at ESPN for not putting this game at 8:15 on Saturday night. I appreciate it in so many ways. Thank you so much. So 5 o'clock. For Ole Miss and LSU. We'll get to that in a minute. I do need to tell you guys and want to tell you guys that we are brought to you by all our MPW digital material, our content brought to you by Twisted Tea. Are you ready to elevate your college game day experience? Check out Twisted Tea, your go-to game day beverage for college football fans. Twisted Tea is unlike any hard beverage you've had before. It's made with real brewed tea, packs a flavorful punch, 5% alcohol, no carbonation, delivering the perfect balance of taste and refreshment that goes down smooth for every game day occasion. No need to settle for the usual. Twisted Tea ups any occasion, especially when you're cheering for your favorite teams. Whether you're tailgating in the stadium parking lot, watching at a bar, or hosting friends at home, Twisted Tea is there to elevate game day experience. It perfectly complements your love for college football, your passion for creating unforgettable moments. So let's toast to unforgettable game day experiences with Twisted Tea, the drink that fuels fun and celebrates your love for college football. Keep it twisted. All right, we'll jump into the games. Caroline, we'll talk about your weekend when we get to the Hogs game on the slate. So because I know this is a big weekend for you as well. So we'll talk about that in a minute as well. We'll start, guys, with the records from last week. We had 14 games last week. You both went at least 500. Greg, you were 7-7.
Okay, I'll take that.
Caroline, you went 9-5.
Oh,
Caroline went 9-5, and one of the ones she lost was on her team. So she could have had a special week just by staying a little loyal. But she rolled the dice on LSU. LSU did not cover. Arkansas covered the line. So Caroline goes 9-5. Greg, who had a 2-game lead going into the weekend, Now they are tied through 4 weeks at 24-20 each. So it's a brand new contest as we head into week 5. So you're both to be commended. Everybody on Neil's picks at rebelgrove.com, we're all except Rippy. I guess Rippy's ahead. Rippy's above 500. Everybody else is below 500. It's a disaster.
Well, I've never heard someone say that. Rippy's over 500 in picks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm convinced he's cheating, but I can't prove it. So, until we can prove it, we can't prosecute him. Once we find proof, though, we're going to eliminate him from contention. That's just the way it's going to work.
Get the NCAA on him.
We'll get into the games. Got one on Friday night. We got 10th ranked Utah heading to Oregon State to play the 19th ranked Beavers. This is an 8:00 game on FS1. I'm sure Caroline and her friends will be locked into this one Friday night in Dallas. Utah on the road. Caroline, you go first since you won the week. Utah on the road is a 1-point underdog. So this is basically a coin toss game, according to the people in Las Vegas.
Okay. I'm going to go with Utah. I literally don't know my reasoning, but I've always used the YouTubers as a reason for Utah. So
Utah's looked really good so far this year. They've beaten Florida. They whipped UCLA last week. Oregon State got beat by Washington State. So you might be onto something. I don't know. We'll see. Greg, what do you think? She's going to take the Utes and a point on the road.
No, Utah's been good to me this year. I haven't lost with them, so I'm going to ride that train until it's off the track. So I'll take Utah too.
Okay. So you're both going to go with the Utes. All right, we get to Saturday's action. We get into the SEC for a bit. We start in Lexington, Kentucky. Greg's home away from home. The Wildcats playing host to the Florida Gators. Florida now ranked 22nd in the country. Florida is a 3-point underdog in Lexington. Greg, this game's 11 a.m. on ESPN.
Man, I think it's going to be a sneaky good game. Wow, I would not have think Kentucky was be favored by 3 points in this game. So I'm going to go Florida +3.
Okay. Wow.
I don't know. I think they might have found something against Tennessee, and I think they might be like LSU, off to a slow start, and so who knows? I'm going against Kentucky on this one.
All right. Greg's going to go with the Gators, Caroline. 3 points. He's going to get 3 points in Lexington.
okay, I'm going to go with Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why again. They have a good dance team.
But dance team.
Yep.
Doesn't Florida have a good dance team too?
No, I think they're gymnastics.
Oh, they're gymnastics.
Oh yeah, they do have a gymnastics team.
They have a good
They
gymnastics
come
team.
here.
Okay. All right. There you go. All right. So Greg's got the Gators. Caroline's got the Wildcats. I've literally learned I can't predict how this thing's going to go each week. I would have bet the opposite just then. All right, Caroline, we get to your game of the week. It's the big rivalry game. I've learned since sending kids to Arkansas that the Arkansas-Texas A&M game is a big deal. It's a heated rivalry. They play at AT&T Stadium in Arlington on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. This game is on the SEC Network. Texas A&M, Caroline, is a 6.5-point favorite against the Razorbacks.
All right. I'm going to be loyal this week and go with Arkansas because they played so well last weekend against LSU. I did not expect that. And, I mean, I'm going to be so upset if they lose this weekend because we've just had a rough season. And I have faith that they can do it. So I'm going to pick them.
What's the atmosphere inside Jerry World for this game? Does it get pretty intense? Is everybody into the game, or is it more like just a big party and, hey, if we win?
It's intense. Like, everyone goes to the game. Everyone watches the game. And I feel like that's not the most, like, normal out of at least my friends. But we, like, all go. We sit together. I don't know. I love this game. I've always paid attention the past 2 years that I've gone. And I can't say that for the most of the others.
I think that's true. I've noticed that. Like I don't know. I can't say what the student section.
And I think just AT&T Stadium, it's like fun. Like having the game there, it's like we automatically feel more inclined to go and like experience it. Because like the student section at like our stadium is just, it's hot. You're standing the whole time. It's like crowded, so it's harder to like get into it.
Okay. All right, Greg. She's going to take the Hogs in Dallas, and she's going to get 6.5 against the Aggies. Texas A&M, by the way, Connor Weigman, the Texas A&M quarterback, out for the season with a foot injury that was announced today. So they'll go with Max Johnson at quarterback.
I like Arkansas. I think there's too many points. I think this is a field goal game, and hopefully Arkansas makes the field goal to win the game this time. So I'm going to take Arkansas on the points.
Yeah. I always get nervous this game with your friend Cam, Caroline. He went 3 for 3 last week on kicks in Tiger Stadium. Didn't get a chance to kick a game winner, but it might happen this weekend.
Yeah, he can redeem himself.
He can redeem himself. All right, we stay in the SEC, Greg. We go to the Plains and Auburn. My great friend Hugh Freeze and the Tigers are entertaining top-ranked Georgia. This game 2:30 on CBS. Georgia, Greg, is a 14.5-point favorite in Auburn.
I'm definitely going to take Georgia. I just think Georgia's too good. And, yes, this is probably too many points, but I just think in the fourth quarter, hopefully Georgia pulls away. So,
all right, Caroline, he's going to take Georgia to lay the 14.5.
I hate Auburn more than I hate Texas A&M, but I'm going to go with them because I think that's a lot of points.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I do not like Auburn, but I'm going to go with them.
Okay. Hey, you went 9-5 last week. I did not, so I can't criticize. All right, go to. I went 6-8. In case anybody's wondering, I went 6-8 against the damn spread. Both of y'all beat me. All right, we go. We leave the SEC at least temporarily. We go to the Big 12. Caroline, it's Kansas, the 24th ranked Jayhawks. They head to Austin to play number 3 Texas. This game's at 2:30 on ABC. Kansas is a 17.5-point underdog in Austin.
I'll go. This one's kind of hard because I don't know how Kansas has been doing, to be honest.
I sent these games to everybody on Sunday. I keep waiting for you to find somebody on campus who's kind of like
I don't want to cheat.
Okay, all right. Well, who you
got?
I
have them pulled up.
You got Kansas or Texas?
I'm gonna go with Kansas.
All right. Caroline is just kind of underdoggy today. She's going to take the Jayhawks, Greg, and get 17.5. I
like Kansas too. I think they can hang in there with Texas. I mean, Texas kind of struggled with Wyoming.
They did.
And I don't think they struggled with the last team they played.
They didn't struggle with Baylor at all.
Yeah, at all. Yeah. I don't know. I think Kansas is up and going. They've got some money being put into the program. They're doing some stadium expansion. And the coaches seems like a good coach for the situation. So I'm going to take the points.
Okay. All right. We got the game in Oxford, one of the big SEC games of the week, obviously. LSU, the 13th ranked Tigers, have gone undefeated since losing their opener to Florida State. They head to Oxford to play Ole Miss. This game's at 5:00, as we mentioned earlier, on ESPN. The Rebels, coming off the loss in Tuscaloosa, dropped to number 20 in the Associated Press poll. So a big game for both teams, obviously. The loser of this, really, they can forget their playoff hopes. So this is a big game. Greg, I'm going to guess you're taking Ole Miss. They get the Rebels getting 2.5 at home.
Man, I just don't trust the offensive line. I don't. I like LSU. Oh. I know LSU's defensive line is a lot better than Alabama, and Ole Miss kind of struggled with Alabama's defensive front. I think it's going to be a good game. I just think that for some strange reason, I call this a character builder game. So we'll see how Ole Miss's character is because this is a big game. If they can come and get a win here with Arkansas coming in next week, coming off of playing Texas A&M, we might get Arkansas in the right spot. But I just think across the board, I think LSU can easily win this by a touchdown.
All right, Caroline, you saw LSU last week. They get the Rebels this time. LSU giving 2.5 in Oxford. Greg's taking the Tigers.
I'm going to agree with Greg. I'm going to go with LSU. I think, yeah. I mean, it's LSU.
I don't know what I think about LSU. I've watched them a bunch. I thought they were going to whip Arkansas, and they didn't. That game was decided on the final play. I don't know. I don't know what to think about Ole Miss either. I really don't. Still, people get mad at me when I say this, but it's still a little early to be passing judgments on teams one way or the other. There's still a lot of time for them to trick you. I mean, Arkansas has already lost twice, for example. LSU's already lost a game. Everybody's lost a game. So people are going to lose more games. So I don't know.
I just don't want to see any speed sweeps. I'm tired of the speed sweep.
Yeah.
I'd like to go north and south. Isn't that the way you really want to go to score touchdowns, like north and south?
That's what you want to do. You want to go north-south, but if there's no place to go north-south, sometimes you have to go east-west to try to get north-south.
Well, it ain't east-west didn't work last weekend.
All right, we stay in the SEC, Caroline. Missouri now ranked 23rd in the country. Missouri at Vanderbilt. This game in Nashville, 3:00 SEC Network. The Missouri Tigers, Caroline, a 12-point favorite on the road.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Missouri.
Yes.
I was picking Vanderbilt at the beginning, but I've got to stop that because I was never right.
Welcome to my world. I'm done with them. Greg, she's going to take the Tigers and lay the 12.
Yeah, I'm going to take Missouri too. I just can't do Vandy anymore.
Yeah, I broke up with Vanderbilt, and I'm not taking their calls. They can text me. I'm not answering. I'm done. Okay. Interesting SEC game into the night slate. South Carolina heads to Knoxville to play the Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee now ranked 21st in the country. This game's at 6:30 on the SEC Network. South Carolina, Greg, is an 11.5-point underdog.
I'm going to go South Carolina. I think it might be a tighter game than normal people might think. I know Tennessee's offense is doing pretty good, and they covered last week, but maybe they're just really good against bad teams. So I think South Carolina, I know I'm pretty sure Tennessee remembers the thumping that South Carolina gave them last year. So, but I just, I think it's going to be a close game. Hopefully 10 points is my safety.
All right. Caroline, he's going to take the Gamecocks in 11.5 on the road in Big Orange Land. What do you think?
I'm going to take Tennessee. I don't know why.
I think I agree with you. Tennessee giving 11.5. When you go there at night, if you're not ready for it, you're not significantly better than Tennessee. That their home crowd kind of evens it out. That place just gets obnoxious. All right, the national game of the week, probably the one that everyone's most focused on, most interested in. It's in the ACC. It's 11th ranked Notre Dame coming off that brutal loss to Ohio State. They are at Duke. Duke now ranked number 17 in the country. Game day is going to be there, 6:30. It's on ABC. Notre Dame, Caroline, is a 5-point favorite against the Blue Devils.
Is it? Well, or was the Duke coach, or is it currently? Isn't it Cutcliffe's dad?
It used to be. He's now working for the SEC office. It's now Mike Elko, who is a former Texas A&M coordinator.
Okay. I was just wondering.
He was once the Duke coach, though, David Cutcliffe. Yes.
I'm going to go with Notre Dame. Maybe they can redeem themselves, didn't they? Yeah, you said they lost last week.
Yeah, lost on the last play at Ohio State last week. All right, Greg, she's going to take the Irish, lay the 5 in Durham.
I'm going to go with the home underdog. I like Duke. Oh. I think this might be a field goal game.
Could be. It's going to be interesting. It's a big spot for Duke. They've never been here before. This is
yeah, big. In college game days, never. I mean, they have for basketball, but not for football.
Not for football. It's probably the biggest football game in their history, I'm guessing.
I would think so, yeah.
All right, one final game, the aforementioned 8:15 kick on ESPN. God help them all. It's Alabama, the 12th ranked Tide, coming off the win over Ole Miss. They head to Starkville to play Mississippi State. Greg, Alabama's a 14.5-point favorite. This game's on ESPN.
Yeah, I like the first half, the second half, the halftime. Alabama should win this game by 3 or 4 touchdowns.
All right, Caroline, he's going to take the Tide, lay the 14.5.
I agree.
Yeah, I do too. I have a little bit of a fear that Alabama kind of avoided the bullet last week, and now they're going to figure some things out. There's a real opportunity for Ole Miss that let it get away from them. Bottom line, there's just no way around it. They know it.
Yeah, it's like the first time I've ever seen, watched a game and watched Ole Miss play Alabama in Tuscaloosa. I'm like, you know what? We should have won that game.
Yep.
And clear as day. Should have won that game.
Bama was bad in the first half. You had an opportunity to build a big lead and didn't do it. When they went in 7-6 at the half, you're like, oh, that's probably not the best thing. And it turned out it was not the best thing. That premonition was right. All right, we'll wrap there. Greg's got more sausages to make. What's the big flavor you're working on this week?
Let's see. I did. My mom wanted me to make Blue Dream, so I made some Blue Dream sausage. That's the blueberry and cream cheese and bacon sausage. It's really, really good. Swayze beer, bacon, cheese, and jalapeno. I made a chicken jalapeno. I'm gonna do that, and then we made a lamb sausage. And I don't know if I can get to boudin, but I'm gonna try to make some seafood boudin for some LSU fans that are probably going to be coming in town looking for some homemade boudin. So hopefully I can get to the boudin later this afternoon. But yeah, just that Swayze sausage, the ribeye sausage. We're making the spicy ribeye. I put some habanero peppers in the spicy ribeye this time, so gonna have some extra flavors in there. So yeah, just ready for the weekend, man. And like Mama said, don't run out of lane trains. So we're not gonna run out of lane trains this weekend.
Caroline, any big dance things going on before you head to Dallas?
I teach the 3-year-olds today, but I'm printing out coloring sheets to occupy a little bit of time today, so that'll be nice.
Yeah, that's smart. All right, well, be careful heading to Arlington, please. Have fun in Dallas, but be safe. And everybody out in the audience who's coming up to Oxford or down to Oxford or over to Oxford, please be careful. Take your time, get here safely. And thank you so much for making this show successful and supporting it. Appreciate it. I get the emails every week. Really appreciate that. So don't forget, LB's Meat Market, 2008 University Avenue in Oxford, right across the street from Kroger. Stop in. Greg, if they want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Always call the store, 662-259-2999. I check the Instagram regularly. I've been trying to post more pictures and stuff like that. The lunch will be Thursday and Friday from about 10:30 to about 2:30. Philly cheesesteak on Friday. I think I'm going to do some chicken kebabs for lunch, just to kind of do something different. So yeah, just always call the store, and then we can get reached on Instagram if you don't want to call the store.
Okay, so we will be back next week. Head to another slate of games, which will include Arkansas at Ole Miss. So we'll talk about that one next week and more. Have a great weekend. For Greg, for Caroline, I'm Neil. See you next time on The Butcher versus the Dance Instructor. Take care.